Hey everyone, welcome to Clear Signals, your monthly dose of AV clarity, straight from the Almo Pro AV experts.
We're your hosts. I'm Keith Mecutchen.
And I'm John Wasko.
And in this episode, we're diving into essentials, the unsung heroes of digital signage. Everything except the displays, pretty much, right? You have the mounts, cables, infrastructure, and remote management.
We've got two rock stars joining us, Todd Heberlein and Nick Carnahan, who know this stuff inside and out. So let's start with Todd. Todd, tell us a little about your role at Almo.
First, I'm going to say, now feel like I'm going to be chastised by Billy Idol because you call me a rock star.
Corporate types are rock stars.
Nobody's seen that commercial, then you're a little lost. I've been in the AV industry for about 25 years, went from sales to sales engineering. Now I'm the business development manager. One of my responsibilities is digital signage, and that's where our focus is today.
Nick, how about you?
Yeah. Hey, I'm Nick, and I was just going to point out that Todd said Billy Idol and then 25 years in the industry. So that's a good indicator that he's been in it for a while. I'm Nick. I'm the BDM for Legrand AV. I've been with Almo for like 3 years or so. Been with Legrand for going on 13 in some form or fashion. So started out as C2G selling cables, and here we are now.
Nice. Well, we're happy to have you both. Todd, we're going to start with you with a little bit of behind the screen. When it comes to media players and we're looking for the best option for digital signage projects specifically, what's the best case to look for? And then when it comes to SOC versus external players, when is best to use what?
Okay. Determine what the best player is or where to start. And honestly, we need to start out with the content, finding out what the content is, who the end user is, how they want to use it, and what their experience is the key. So, set up a call with me. I can help out. As far as SOC versus external, I'm going to be biased. I'm the BrightSign BDM, all external, although they do have their own internal stuff. I tend to lean that direction, but obviously there is a use case, but it comes down to each one's going to be a little bit different.
Nick, mounts might seem pretty straightforward, but they're very critical. How do you choose the right mount for the signage location and display type?
Yeah, so tons of different options, especially when it comes to digital signage, right? So we can start from hanging it from a ceiling on a wall. We could do a kiosk from the floor. So it really depends on what visually you're trying to do. And I can assist with that, right? So if we're talking about anything, you have a vision, I'm sure there's some sort of form factor that we can make it work. So, sweet.
Awesome. And just to take John's question a step further, I think we all know Legrand is reliability. And when we're talking about reliability, cabling, power infrastructure, what do you need from a support standpoint when we're talking about digital signage?
Yeah, huge thing, right? So we spend a lot of time setting up this digital signage network, and it's got to be reliable. So there's a couple different things that we want to look at, right? Accessibility being a big one, right? So when a system goes down or we need to update or anything along that lines, we want to make sure that it's accessible and easily able to do. A couple different options there. So we can either make it the mount accessible, or we can hook it into the network via something like a Middle Atlantic rack link. That way we can power management, power cycle, look at everything along that lines. And then cabling being huge, right? So if it's not just a cloud-based program or something small, but we need to make sure that the cables are reliable, make sure that everything's plugged in correctly, and then it's going to work for our 24/7. So that's where C2G comes in hand, and we can figure out a solution for that.
Sweet.
Awesome. Todd, this one's back over to you. So what are the most common compatibility issues between signage components? And then how can AV pros avoid those?
The only real compatibility issues is typically wireless versus wired. Making sure if the network infrastructure beforehand, but actually the biggest compatibility issue is software and end users. So making sure that the skill of the end user and what software they're going to be using is paramount.
Awesome. And just another step off of that, hardware is one thing, but I think a lot of the times, and John can attest to this, what we hear about content and digital signage and everything like that is not so much as the external hardware. It's, okay, now who manages this? And how do we make it simple? Is it an admin? Is it IT? Is it marketing? what is the simple step for remote access for these customers?
With the cloud services now, everything's cloud-based, so it makes it a lot easier now. Making sure the right network's in place, obviously key, but test driving that software for the end user. I think that's the key component that a lot of times is missed.
Awesome. So we're going to wrap it up. Got one last question for both of you. Nick, I'll let you take it first, but when everything's kind of dialed in and working perfectly, what does a clear signal mean to you?
Clear signal for me is just that, right? We make sure that everything's cleaned up, right? Right cables, right mounts, right job.
I think it comes down to getting the right people involved. With digital signage, a lot of times it's typically the IT only involved. I think getting the user involved, getting facilities involved, getting everybody involved with the signage project is key.
We really appreciate you guys jumping on, chatting with us for a little bit, helping us with all the wisdom that you have. And we appreciate you guys, the viewers, spending some time with us here today.
Yeah, and don't forget to subscribe and join us next month when we tackle custom direct view LED. Until then, keep your signals clear and your installs cleaner.